right, so we have a chance to wrap up the NFC West this week, uh, barring we win our game. And I believe if the Cowboys are able to defeat the Cardinals, we're NFC West champions. So, definitely something to be accomplished here this weekend. We will be traveling to Baltimore to play the Ravens in a Week 17 matchup. And it's a game I'm feeling good about, but we need to be careful because Baltimore has always been a physical team. And as I've said many times before, the Rams historically have had issues playing physical teams and succeeding. Now, I say that, but the last 4 weeks, the Rams winning streak, they've really changed their well, I think they changed their philosophy a little bit, but changed their schematically they changed schematically to run a more like smash mouth power offense. I wouldn't say they are a power running team right now. I think what they are right now is a balanced team, and which is something they needed because they were heavy in the pass, and I think that was hurting them. Sean has made the proper adjustments, and now we are a more balanced team. But we use some of the heavy set by using some of the heavy sets and the jumbos and the 12-13 personnels to add more bodies on the line of scrimmage, because that is where games are won, the line of scrimmage, and pretty much just pushing people back, playing old school physical football. Which if the Rams, and I have said this so many times, but if the Rams are serious about bringing a championship to LA this year, they are going to need to play physical smash mouth football. They can't just say they're a physical team, they have to be a physical team. And the past few weeks, they have been. And I've been very proud of them for that. Now, we play a team who is always really physical. The AFC North might actually be the AFC North probably is the most physical division in this league. I know, because you're always hearing about Baltimore and Pittsburgh really smacking each other around. Even now the Browns are starting to get good, and the Bengals are looking good too, and it's always really, really physical. So we need to really understand that, because we are going to need to come in with a physical mindset and ready to attack rather than receive. Baltimore really whooped us a few years back, completely embarrassed us on national television, if y'all remember. You know, the game where Marcus Peters came back and was nodding his head to the camera when they were up by like 30, with that smug look of his. I still like Marcus, but he feels he was let go wrongly. There is certainly a debate to be had about that, and I certainly understand where he's coming from, but it really, I was pretty salty when I saw it. All right, like I like Marcus, but I remember still in my mind, I think it came back from a commercial break, and it was well like in the fourth quarter, and it was the Baltimore Ravens sideline in the LA Coliseum, and Marcus Peters is literally looking into the camera and just shaking his head up and down as they're up by like 30 points. And I was so salty. Let me tell you, I was so salty seeing that. I'm like, man, F you, Marcus. F you. Even though I still actually kind of like you, but F you, Marcus. And then you had Lamar running all over us, and you had Eric Weddle, remember Eric Weddle, our free safety that we like rented out for a year. Um, that talks real fast, and after the game, was seen damn near celebrating with the Baltimore Ravens because, as you know, he was a member of the Ravens for the majority of his career. He spent a year with us. I want to say, I can't remember. Was it 2018? It was 2019, I think. And there's he. I know you're supposed to show sportsmanship when talking to the other team, but boy, oh boy, that just infuriated me seeing him just basically celebrating with the Ravens. Anyhow, the point is, we have not seen this team since then. And this is our chance to get back at them. Okay, they're hurting a little bit. We need to go in there and beat their ass like they beat us. Okay, show Baltimore that LA can get physical too. Okay, so the Ravens have a pretty depleted secondary, and I can see the temptation is there. I can see the temptation is for Sean to go pass heavy this game and to really air it out and to really abuse this secondary that has had injuries, has had practice squad players starting for them. But I don't no. You still have to run to set up the pass. I still want to see our heavy sets. We still need to remain balanced. Take your shots, but don't go pass heavy. Keep it balanced. Tyler Huntley is looking like he's going to be the starter. Lamar Jackson is still rehabbing from an ankle injuries. Ankle injuries suck, I can tell you, and they take a long time to heal. They have a tendency to nag, and I heard he was on video in practice earlier in the week, and he just did not look like he was having a hard time. So I don't think he's playing. I think it's going to be Tyler Huntley. And Tyler Huntley actually looks kind of good. He really played well against the Packers last week and was really going. That was a good game. They were really sticking with the Packers, who's probably the best team in the NFC. So it's not Tyler Huntley isn't a scrub, but like we need to be careful for sure. Like Jalen, make sure your your fellow cornerbacks are focused. Make sure they are remember their assignments, go where they need to go. People like Taylor Rapp, Dante Dion, Darius, all the kind of reserve defensive backs. Be ready, be ready. The guy is pretty good. So be ready for those pass plays for sure. But I think I think we'll be okay. I really do. If we come in focused, if we come in physical, I think and we keep a balanced attack, I think we can wear them down. The Bengals are tough, but the Bengals have a lot going on right now. They got some injuries, they got some people on the list, and basically they just have not been. They've lost a lot of close games, man. So they're going to be out. That secondary is looking rough. That secondary is looking rough. So it is tempting, but we got to maintain balance, So they got a second-year linebacker, Patrick Queen. Apparently, is doing really well. We just got to be careful with that. Calais Campbell. Always got to be wary of Calais Campbell. Always got to be wary of Calais Campbell. Calais is a good player. I would love to have Calais on this team, actually. But if we're not careful, he can disrupt the game. He can really blow up that interior. So Brian, you and Austin be on your P's and Q's. Y'all better be ready. I don't want to see y'all getting blown back. All right. Overall, these are the last few games that the Ravens have lost. Pretty close ones, to be honest. So it's I really think I really think we can get it if we just play sound, mentally smart football. I think we can get it. I think we're going to beat this team. I want to say 28, 17, something like that. Here's the thing. I do feel Tyler Huntley. I feel like Tyler Huntley's gonna look decent. He's gonna make some throws. I think Tyler Huntley will get his wins against this defense, but as long as we focus on stopping the run, keeping him in check, making sure he doesn't escape. I really don't know a whole lot about Tyler Huntley, so I really can't talk about him too much. But the highlights I did see, he looked decent, man. So we got to be careful here. The offense, just Sean keep running a balanced offense, keep being physical. Matt, this is kind of an opportunity for Matthew. Matthew didn't really look that good last week, and I'm not at all worried about it. It's he was facing an old division opponent. I'm sure he, the Vikings. He's had a lot of games with the Vikings, so he might have been in his head a little bit, might have been a little worried, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it is his first year in this system, so we got to remember that. But Matthew seems to work better if the offense is in a rhythm. If it's in a he doesn't strike me as someone who can necessarily shoulder the entire team. I don't mean that as a slight, Matthew. I really don't. It's because I love that you're here. I would rather have you over Jared Goff any day of the week. But it's just it almost seems like you don't things need to be humming first. And I think Matthew becomes a lot more comfortable. And then that's when we see him be deadly, because Matthew can be deadly. He has pinpoint accuracy. He has a strong arm, and he is very, very smart. He knows how to schematically read a defense. But he needs to be comfortable. I notice any time you give him too much responsibilities, he doesn't become as comfortable. And that's when we see things like the game that he had last week. He had just these silly picks that not all of them were his fault, but he just needed to. You really need to be smart and know when to just throw it away. I know you're always. That's easy for me to say. It makes sense because everyone's always going, "Oh, Matthew, we're going to the Super Bowl, right? We're going to the Super Bowl, right? Right? We're going to the Super Bowl. It's your first year, but you're taking us to the Super Bowl, right?" I get it. He probably is feeling the pressure, even though he isn't gonna say that to the media. Why would he? He's not gonna say that. But I mean, who wouldn't feel I would feel the pressure. Shit. That is a lot of pressure. I mean, having all these reporters and all these fans across the country criticizing your every throw cannot be easy. But Matthew, that is the job you signed up for. And it is one I believe that you can do, but you just gotta keep yourself loose, man. Don't get, even if things get a little crazy and they start getting pressure, try not to panic so much. Revert back to your basics. When you feel when you're feeling rattled, when you're the mind's going really, really fast, the thoughts are going fast because the Ravens are all on your ass, kind of just take a deep breath, slow down, go back to your basics, make basic throws, simple throws, run simple plays until you can get yourself more comfortable. Then you can slowly go from the simple, go to the intermediate routes, and then that's where you can go for the kill shot. Like I know you can, Matthew. I've seen you launch that ball. I was freaking out when you threw that ball to Jefferson in the first game of the season. We scored like a 70-yard touchdown play on the second play of the season in week 1. Okay? I'm not worried at all about the last game. Matthew is going to be fine. This is a chance. This is a bounce back game for you. So let's see smart, Smart, calm football. All right? Need you to be smart, need you to be calm, and you'll be just fine. So, that's going to be it for now. I think we will wrap this up. I think hopefully we win the NFC West by this time tomorrow. So, good luck to you boys, and I will certainly be watching. And go Rams. And as and as always, go Rams.